There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
What's going on, guys? Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Welcome to Monday session, CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. We're going to start the week off with a fun one. This is one I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It's about amplification and about a brand that really has done a lot of innovation since 2008, straight out of Italy. The brand is, of course, Mosconi, distributed exclusively in Canada by Trends Electronics. And on this session, we've got two of my favorite people. One, of course, is Grant McFatter from Trends. I'm going to get him on right now without wasting any time. I call him G-Mick. I don't know if he'll let you call him that, but I get the privilege too, right, Grant?
I've been called worse by better people, buddy, so you can call me whatever. G-Mick is pretty good.
G-Mick! How was your weekend, man?
G-Mick. It's good. It's good. Weather was lousy, but, hang out with my granddaughter on the weekend. It was awesome.
Oh, the fact that you're a grandfather still blows me away. Look at how can a sexy beast like you already be a grandfather?
Oh, maybe that's the reason, the sexy beast part,
Yeah. Let's get
too much in the back room,
We'll chew on that for a little bit. Okay, enough about that. Mosconi, exciting line, premium line, as everybody knows. When I did a little bit of research about the brand, I was not aware that it's only been around since 2008. It's not like it's been around for 30 years. It's kind of new. If you look at the timeline of things, but man, it is very loved and has a very big following.
Yeah, it's got a huge following. I mean, the guys in the States, the Orca crew down there, have done a great job in the U.S. Getting the brand out there, and it's just a great product. When a product's good, the word spreads pretty quick.
Yeah, and what else is interesting about it is that not only it's not a very shallow offering. They have many different levels, which I'd love to be able to learn about today. I'm sure others will as well. So hopefully you get to break down a little bit about the different series that Mosconi offers, but also talk a little bit about the innovation side of things, like the DSP and some of the. I know there's wiring harnesses. I got a sneak peek with Nick Wingate, who's also joining us today from Mosconi to talk about the amplifiers. Yeah. Grant, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I thought you were bringing up Nick.
No, I'm still talking to you. I'm not ready for Nick.
No, as far as depth of the line, yeah. I mean, we from the Zero and the A-Class product all the way down to the Atomo. There's a lot of product from top to bottom to fit pretty much every need. So, if dealers looking for a product, they can almost do it with the Mosconi line by itself.
Interesting. I've seen we feature a lot of premium builds, right, on CMA, of course, and the Pro Series lines comes up a lot on the higher end builds. But what's really interesting is some of the other like I guess the intermediate level stuff, and even the small, tiny footprint multi-channel stuff that I'm really hoping we dive into today.
Yeah, we're going to go through. The Pro is obviously the stuff that we see most in the bigger builds. It's a pretty sexy looking amplifier, lots of power. And then, versatility, we've got the Gladen 1 Series amplifiers, which can do a multiple array of things from, semi-active or full active systems. And then the new stuff, which we'll have some hand samples here for you. The new Pico and Atomo product, which will fit in the palm of your hand and still have room you can almost fold it in your hand. It's so small.
Wow.
It's crazy how much power they get out of a tiny little compact chassis.
Well, these mysteries and many more, I'm hoping to get some answers for, because we do have, like I had mentioned, we do have Nick Wingate, who is the trainer for Mosconi, coming on with us, and we're going to welcome him to CMA Connected. What's going on, Nick?
Good morning, or good afternoon, as the case may be. How is everybody today?
Well, everybody's fantastic. I guess it depends where you live. Are you still in Texas today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yep, heading towards 101 degrees today, Fahrenheit. So, yeah.
You're not going to believe this, but last week, I'm here on the Canadian East Coast, and we had to keep the kids home from school. It was 44 degrees Celsius, which is like 111.
Yeah, that I was seeing some of the some of the weather that you guys are experiencing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they're not used to this. This is bad.
No. Bad. This is like almost had to bring in the army. But anyhow,
Canadians are melting in the streets.
100%. Nick, Mosconi amplifiers. I know something you're very passionate about. You have hands-on experience with this hardware, not only professionally but also on the competition side of things, on your personal rides. So I know that you can speak to the brand and its offering from many different levels. I'm really happy to have you on today because I have a lot of questions. And for me, and it's not that it's a new brand in Canada by any means, but it certainly feels like time needs to be spent to kind of break it down for dealers so they can understand what that offering is. So Grant, I'm going to pass this over to you, and maybe we could start with we'll choose a starting point and work our way from there.
Yeah, I mean, they have products above what we're going to show here in the Pro line. They have the A-Class and the Zero products, but that's the super high-end, full big chassis, the crazy competition guys that size is not an issue. But I'd like to talk about this product to start off with because it is probably our best seller out of all of it combined. So the Pro line, here we have the Pro 110, which is a 1,000 watt, just shy of 1,000 watt monoblock amplifier. Quite compact in size. It's not a big amplifier by any means. It's barely over a sheet of paper as far as physical size. And then our favorite one, which maybe Nick will start off on, is the big guy, which is our full system favorite, the Pro 530, which pretty much does your whole system in one amplifier. Pretty beautiful looking amplifier.
If I may, Nick, I would just like to put one comment here before you get started, because then you're going to dive into this and tell us all the great features. But aesthetically, if you don't mind putting that up again, Grant, I just want to comment on aesthetics here. This is, from an industrial design perspective, very, very nice, clean, unique looking. It has a very signature look to it. I've seen it installed in many different systems in many different ways. And for me, this is a showcase piece. I mean, the red fans to the perforated grill, like everything about it makes it very, very unique. So I have to give kudos where they deserve to have kudos, and that is on the design element.
Yeah, leave it to the Italians to design something that's sexy and looks good. And imagine that.
So now you have Grant showing these sexy I mean, what more of a complete package? Let's just full screen it. Check that out. It's just a full package right there.
You're a madman. You are mad.
No, okay. Nick, please tell us about the great features about this Pro Series line.
Well, there's a lot of great features besides just the way they look. The amount of power these things produce is tremendous. Such as, and the 530 is the most flexible amplifier in the Pro Series lineup. Channels 1 and 2 is 90 watts a channel. And it is Class AB. It is biased more towards Class A than Class AB because the idea behind the amplifier was to run a fully active two-way with a subwoofer. So channels 1 and 2 is geared more toward high frequencies above 2,000 hertz. It's the reason it's biased more towards Class A. Channels 3 and 4 is 160 watts a channel. This is all 4-ohm ratings, and it is Class AB. It is the exact same section as far as the amp design is concerned as channels 1 and 2. It just has twice the output devices of channels 1 and 2. Then channel 5 is a Class D monoblock that can push almost 1,000 watts at 2 ohms. So, and there's a lot of ways to use the amplifier. Grant will tell you can use it as a 5-channel. If you've got a front stage and a rear sub, if you don't want rears, you're good. If you've got front and rear, a lot of dealers are taking channels 3 and 4. They're driving the front stage with separates. They're taking channel 1 and 2, and they're driving the rears with coaxials, and then they've got a sub coming off of channel 5. You can do that. You can bridge the amplifier to 3 channels if you wish to do so. A lot of my dealers here in the States, what they're doing with their truck builds is they're taking 2 of these amplifiers with their Pro 110, with the Pro 210. What they're doing is they're bridging it to 3 channels, using one on the left for the tweeter mid-bass, one on the right for tweeter and mid-range, having 2 subs in the rear of the truck, and then taking a Pro 210 to drive the mid-bass drivers. Again,
that's a sick setup.
It is. And it's amazing what you can get out of these amplifiers. All the Pro amplifiers have a little function called direct DSP. And if you're using a digital signal processor with these amplifiers, what you can do is there's a little button that's called DDSP, direct, and you will turn it on and you will bypass it's in the upper left-hand corner, as you can see. And what you can do is you bypass the entire preamp section, including the gain structure of the amplifier. Basically, it becomes a home amplifier, like McIntosh and Krell and Levinson. If you're into that, you understand what I'm talking about. And then the DSP becomes the entire preamp section. So it increases the signal to noise ratio substantially. And the amps just sound fantastic when you do this. And all of the amplifiers in the line, from the Pro 110, which Grant has in his hands right now, to the Pro 210, which is a 2-channel, the Pro 410, which is a 4-channel, and they all have this function. So it's a very well thought out, very well designed product. Reliability is through the roof with these. We just don't get these amplifiers back unless somebody does something really stupid.
I can't tell you how cool it is that when you think about the configuration that you just mentioned, there's one that you mentioned I didn't even think of yet, and we'll go circle back to that in a minute. But what I've actually seen a build where somebody had two 530s, one running the left side of the car and the other running the right side of the car, and then the DSP managing obviously all that. And I guess they were using with that bypass feature that you just mentioned, Nick.
Yep. That is, in my personal opinion, I think it's dollar for dollar when you use that 530 like that. It's amazing. There's an awful lot of amplifiers that are built in the world that are $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 retail. Let's face it, there are, and they're great product, but they don't have the flexibility this amplifier does. It doesn't have the Class A circuitry, almost Class A circuitry in the amplifier. It doesn't have the direct DSP functions to where you can bypass the entire preamp section, and the flexibility and the power to go with it. It's just a very, very unique amplifier in every respect. It's very flexible. And like I said, I was talking to you guys beforehand. That's actually what I'm going to be putting in my wife's car. I can put the zeros in there. I can put a Class A in there. Sure. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't if I could. Yeah, but there's also a premium here in space, in her Macan. And so I've got to find a space for it. And this amplifier, even though it looks big, it really isn't in the grand scheme of things. It's 5 channels.
It's a one chassis solution. You're not.
It's a one chassis solution. Absolutely.
And what was the power rating on the 4 channels?
The 4 channels, 4x120 at 4 ohms.
That's pretty big for a multi-channel.
Yeah,
that's at 4 ohm. Does it go down to 2?
That's at 4 ohm. Yeah, it's all the amplifiers are 2 ohm stable, 2 ohm stereo in every respect.
So I would classify that is a high-end option for a 5-channel solution.
Yes.
That's if you for those customers that are looking for that top shelf performance, but maybe not have the space to put 2 giant amps in it. There you go, sir. You can spend the money on some great components in the front, maybe some coaxes in the rear, whatever sub you want. Here's that 1 amp, high end, AB, boom, done, and you get the D amplification for the sub to really pound it.
You're getting maximum sound quality and maximum efficiency on the subwoofer, and you can't beat that.
Again, I've seen these amps matched with like Utopia M level type stuff.
Yes.
So that speaks a lot to the retailer or the installer that designed those systems. So
I will tell you that there are a number of my IASCA. I have an IASCA competitor who did quite well a weekend, 2 weekends ago. He has a Pro 110 on every speaker in his car.
Oh man, how many?
And
speakers?
that's the one thing about the Pro 110 a lot of people don't realize is there's 2 sections to the amp. There's the SQ section and there's a power section. And depending on what you want the amplifier to do, you can switch it into either mode. It's a full range amp. It's 5 hertz to 25,000 hertz in frequency response. And, Filippo, who is the chief design engineer with Mosconi, he I've got a letter from him stating you literally can make this amplifier sound very similar to a Mosconi Class A by switching it to the SQ mode and doing direct DSP bypass.
Oh, is that what it's called, SQ mode, or you're calling it that?
Yeah, it's called basically the sound quality mode.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
It's you can see it right there. There's a button that says power mode or sound mode. You can turn it on or turn it off. You turn it on, it's basically for subwoofers. You know, if you turn it off, it's in its SQ mode.
Okay, very best. All right, let's get on to the. Is there anything else to talk about the Pro line?
There's a new one that just, it's fairly new anyways, the Pro 210, which is a two-channel amplifier. Nick talked about a little bit for guys that want to use it for big power on mid-bass. Your 240 watts by 2 on the mid-bass. And
240 by 2 in a small little amp like that.
Yeah, and nice power in single channel too if you want to bridge it. If you got a nice big 4 ohm subwoofer, it's 700 watts, 720 watts RMS at 4 ohms bridge, so really good power for that guy that's got a single sub with wants lots of power on it at a 4 ohm load. It's a kick-ass amp for that too.
Yes, sir. Okay. So just so we're clear, the 210 bridge gives us how much power?
720.
And the 110, but that's a Class D, it's different. But how much is
the 110 is 975 at 2 ohms. The 410, you can bridge the 410 too, is 320 by 2 bridged at 4 ohms.
Yeah, there's no shortage of power in any of these models.
No,
I think that's
between the four models, you can make a pretty kick-ass flexible system any way you want it. I mean, I've seen
and they all have that bypass, Nick.
Yes, they all have direct DSP bypass.
Right, perfect. Yeah, so you can. Very nice. Let's keep it going, Grant.
Cool. The other one that's still one of my favorites. It's been around for a while, but I think these are just pretty damn sexy as well. There's the AS series. I mean, the Zero class and the A class amplifiers all have the same family look to it. But I still think, this is the Mosconi signature look.
It's iconic.
Many years. Yeah, it is.
It's iconic.
Yeah, the AS. This is the AS 100.4. Again, it's not a huge amplifier for the amount of power it puts out. But I still think one of the coolest looking amplifiers, iconic wise. It's a killer amp. So full line of the AS series as well. It's like I said, it's a mainstay it's a staple in the line. But what I think we should focus on probably next is let's go to the 1 series.
Yeah,
and we have
there's been a lot of chatter about this particular series, right?
This is the new model. This is a 100.6, so a 6-channel amplifier, 100 watts RMS times 6. And I'll let Nick get into some of the specifics of this product as well. It's pretty damn cool.
Yes, it's very flexible. It is a Class AB amplifier in every respect. If I remember correctly, it's 100 by 6 at 4 ohms. If I remember correctly, it's 120 or 140 by 6 into 2 ohms. You can bridge it to 3 channels, and you're going to get over 200 watts a channel into 3 channels.
240 watts to be exact.
Yeah, it's a lot of power in this particular amplifier. It has the ability to have high-level input, low-level inputs. You have numerous different high-pass, low-pass, band-pass capabilities on each individual channels. Obviously, you can use the analog remote volume control on it. It's called RTC2 to control it. There's a lot of flexibility in this amplifier. You can do a high, mid, low, fully active left and right with just this one amplifier. If you want to bridge it, you can, to where it will do your mid-bass driver if you want to do it that way, to where it's just driving the front tweeter, and then you've got a lot of power on the mid-bass driver. You can do that as well. And it's these things. We've had this series has been around for a long time, and we sell a lot of them. And for the money, I find it really difficult to find something better as far as sound is concerned, reliability, and power output than these series of amplifiers. They are all designed in-house, and they're all built in-house in Italy. Nothing is farmed out anywhere else in the world, especially the Chinese. They can't stand the Chinese. They hate them. for obvious reasons. They have a nasty habit to steal things as far as, layout of the boards. And plus, one of the things about the Mosconi line that the company itself that I really, really like is everything that's important to building the product lines itself. They are within a 30-kilometer radius of the facility of the factory. So QC is of the utmost importance with these folks. Everything they need to work on the amplifier, build the amplifiers, change the boards, it's all right there. And if it was manufactured in China or somewhere in the Far East, they would have to pick up the phone or get on the computer and talk to whoever's designing this stuff, and Lord knows how long it would take to make the changes. Not having it all basically in-house right there in Italy. Their QC is through the roof. And especially when it comes to this level of product, because they know that this amplifier, these amplifiers, this is one of the most popular selling brands around the world. And they know it has to be reliable. It's got to produce the power. It's got to have the sound. And it does. And I can't say enough about this company, but especially these amplifiers right here.
So from what I've seen, word on the street, these are like a lot of go-to for a lot of shops. Customer comes in, intermediate budget, doesn't want to go over the top, wants a well-balanced system, but with a lot of flexibility to grow with the system. Or maybe, a lot of people put in a system into a leased vehicle. They might want to take it out and put it into their next vehicle. These are one of those amps that I see in that category because people do love them. But you're right, Nick, the flexibility of it is paramount. Very, very important, but also for the price, because we don't talk about price on any particular show, but talk to Grant, call the guys at Trends, because I think you might be pleasantly surprised. These are made in Italy product. Let's be very clear about this. There's something to be said about that. And Grant, I'm sure you've heard those type of comments on the sales floor as well.
Well, guys can respect, like Nick was saying, it's easy to knock off product and take something that's, made in Germany or Italy or wherever they're from and send it off to China and get it copied. But the reality is the reliability of this product is second to none. In this series here, we have 8 different models of amplifiers. So again, you talk about being able to system build. We can take you from a 2-channel amp to start your system off, a monoblock to start your system off, all the way up to, this guy here is fairly new in the lineup too. This is the 90.8 DSP. So it's an 8-channel amplifier with DSP built in, super flexible. But the whole line, 8 different amplifiers to choose from. You can make anything sound awesome with these amps.
That right there is the one I was hoping that we would talk into, because I would imagine this is probably the hot ticket item right now. That multi-channel, single chassis, DSP integrated category is kind of hot right now. Everybody wants it. So talk to us. Is there anything special that you want to take note of here for this multi-channel DSP amp, Nick?
Well, this is one of the amplifiers that you can drive your whole system off of. And it has a 628 Pro DSP built into it. This is a bargain. And I know we don't want to talk about quote unquote pricing, but you kind of have to with this, because this is an 8-channel amplifier that's 90 watts a channel by 8 in the 4 ohms. It's 120 by 8 at 2 ohms. You can bridge it to 6 channels if you wish to do so. You've got the ability to have 8 channels internally controlled by the DSP. You have 2 analog outputs available to where the DSP, you can run a bigger amplifier off of it. If you've got 1,000 watts you need on the subs, there's a 1,000-watt monoblock that is a Class D amplifier that goes with this line that the internal processor controls and uses. The flexibility on this thing is ridiculous. And we all know that single amplifier solutions, that's a big ticket right now. And when you're talking about front, a fully active 3-way in the front, you can have your rears, you can have your sub output. I mean, there's multiple different ways to use this amplifier. And, we've got them in stock. That's the beauty of this.
I was just going to circle back to that.
Yeah, even going back to 5 channels. 5 channels seem to be a hot ticket these days, and no one seems to have any around. And we've got Pro 530s in stock. So if your supplier can't get you some 5-channel amps,
call 1-877-946-9255 for multi-channel amps in stock. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going.
Yeah, when Nick was talking about flexibility and 1 amp systems, this thing here is, we got a lot of guys that do hot rods and, want a small amplifier that does everything. This, you can literally do 4x85 at 4 ohms on this, 2x250 on the sub channels if you want to make it, a kick-ass 1 amp system with DSP built in. It is.
You know what the thing? Can I comment here, guys? Like, I know we live in a bubble, right? We're always looking at the next thing and the specs and all that. But for the Mrs. Consumers walking into a shop who might have had a system in the past,
it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
Yep. They are aware that this class of amplifiers exists right now. They know it's getting out there. The word is getting out. I'm hearing people literally walk in and say, yeah, I kind of heard there's a 1 amp solution. This is it. And they're starting to know about it. So from an inventory perspective, man, this particular one is like the one that you want to definitely have in stock all the time. That's my 2 cents.
Absolutely.
That's an easy, you know what I mean? Front speakers, rear speakers, throw in a box sub and 1 amp, done. DSP tuned out.
Yep.
Simple. That's what people want.
Absolutely.
All right. So that is the 1 series, and we've just finished with the big guy there, which is the 8-channel DSP model that we're looking at right there. All right. What do we got next, Grant?
We're going to go down, and we're getting smaller as we go along here. So we're going to go to the...
Oh, wow. I just saw that size of that amp. Holy.
So this is a Pico 8 to 12 DSP. So that's an 8-channel amplifier with 12-channel DSP built into it. Where's my camera here? Okay, there we go. Yeah, it basically, a little bit bigger than the palm of my hand. Sorry, I can't get my camera backwards here.
There you go. You got it.
So 8-channel amplifier with 12-channel DSP all in a tiny little box. It's pretty amazing what this thing does. And substantial amount of power, too.
Yeah. See, I love what Mosconi's done here. Mosconi has taken a platform and realized that, you know what, if we can make it fit into an even smaller box, more people would probably want. Yeah, look how tiny that is.
That is a great 1-2 punch right here. It's an 8 to 12 DSP with a Pico 1 500 watt monoblock all together. That's your system right there. It's a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11.
So I know this might be redundant, Nick, but I'm going to ask the question: like, what inspired a big high-end, big power brand like Mosconi to come out with these tiny little offerings?
There's, in Europe, you have cars that are very small. They're not even sold here, and in Asia as well. And as such, we're looking at smaller power supplies, alternator as far as output is concerned. You don't have a lot of room to work with. Plus, in Europe, what a lot of people don't realize is there's a number of European countries you cannot cut metal in any way, shape, or form on any car. It will not pass inspection. So you've got constraints as far as size, where the amplifiers can go. You've got problems as far as efficiency. Yeah, sure, we'd love to have everything Class A, B. Who wouldn't? But the reality is that the world has changed. We all know that, there's only so much power available on any engine. You're like today, for instance, some of the 4 cylinders and the engines I've seen, the alternator's 70 amps or 75 amps, and it's only got a 10% reserve. What do? Well, you've got to redesign the product. You've got to embrace the technology, and they'll be the engineers will be the first one to tell you they can't stand Class D. They think it sounds terrible, but they have realized they've got to work with it. They've got to make it sound as good as they possibly can. They've learned about the filtering in the upper frequencies, which a lot of people don't understand that's where you've got problems in the upper frequencies. And they have designed these things to where they actually sound really, really good. I was floored when first time I heard that 8 to 12. The amount of power it produces is astonishing. How clean it is just, it was mind-boggling. I could not believe what I was hearing coming out of this. And this amp is a full-blown 8 to 12 processor built into it. Now,
I'm going to stop you there. Now, I want to know, is this the same processor that we saw in the previous model, or is this an adapted, more simple processor?
It's the exact same processor that the 638 or 8 to 12. This is what's built into this amplifier. it's not an aerospace unit, but it is an 8-12 Pro. Same DSP chip, same processing, same GUI, same everything. So, the beauty of these things is you've got digital inputs, you've got high level analog, you've got low level analog.
Wow.
There's
You got digital
adapters
input even on the Pico series. Interesting.
Yes, and you even have the ability with some of these to where if you need more input channels, there's an extension that you can purchase which will give you more input channels if you need it. The flexibility on these things is huge. They're also in the process of talking. Gladen and Mosconi work together, and the folks at Gladen and Mosconi, they're working on direct plug-in wiring harnesses for vehicles, for cars.
One of them like plug and play stuff.
Yeah, it literally is, and I hate using the term plug and play, but it literally is. What they're working on is wiring harnesses that will come off of the factory amplifiers and will plug directly into these units. Whether you see, there's one in specific, it's called an 8 to 10 DSP. There's also 6 to 8 DSP, a Pico, and then there's a Pico 1. And you're going to be able to literally come off the factory amp, plug into these processor amplifiers, put your own speakers in the car, and the car's going to be ready to go.
We're talking power, remote, the whole nine?
All of it. The whole 9 yards. It's amazing technology.
You're talking about current on these as well and limitations on some of the cars. You see what the fuse size is on there?
Yeah.
20
ridiculous.
amps.
20 amps.
So it's not going to draw a lot of current out of your charging system.
Might be a good option for like hybrid or electric vehicles as well.
Yeah, and they're all of these amplifiers are designed to run with the stop and start functions, which I can't stand. But it is what it is.
Have we met anybody that likes that feature yet? I haven't.
No, not here.
We talked to all the other brands that make product to overcome that challenge, and like everybody, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But anyhow, okay. So really cool, small footprint, multi-channel, good power. DSP, the same processor, same interface, same GUI as the bigger stuff.
Yep.
All packaged into a tiny little box that you could choose to either run alone on a multi-channel, or if you want that extra oomph for the subs, you got a monoblock. Same footprint, side by side, both fit on a sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I'm just going to bring up a question here for you, Grant. We got Stephen Fleming asking who the Trends contact is on Ontario. He's in Peterborough, and I guess he'd like some more info.
Yours truly.
Oh, no. You have to deal with Grant.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve. You're going to have to deal with him.
I apologize ahead of time.
I'll put up I'll put up the numbers here. Go ahead and give Trends a call or him a message on their website. I'm sure they have an email, and ask for hello, may I speak with G-Mick, please.
They might not know who he is at the office.
I've seen him on TV. Can I please speak to G-Mick? All right. All right.
Celebrity.
I see the trend here. You like that pun?
Yeah.
We seem to be going for the big Pro. We've come down now. We went through the Pico. What are you saving for the last year?
So this is the Pico, right? So nice and small, compact.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have. Should we do the Atomo 4? It's a little bigger.
Grab the Atomo.
It's a little bigger than the other one.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a little over half the size of the Pico 8 to 12. But that is a 4-channel amplifier, 60 by 4 RMS at 2 ohms or 150 watts by 2 bridged. Again, if you got a packet of smokes in your car and I can't find room for my amplifier, throw the smokes out and put the amplifier in.
Another
really,
great reason
really
to
compact.
Quit. There you go.
Yeah, good reason to quit. And then we have this little guy here too, which is even smaller. This is the.
Oh, this is getting ridiculous.
This is the Atomo 2, which is that's the Atomo 2.
The Atomo 2.
And then there's the processor. That's a 4 to 6 processor in very, very compact size. I mean, there's my palm of my hand, for crying out loud.
Okay, so other than how cute they are, why would you need to go that small when you already have the Pico line, which is, let's be honest, pretty darn small already?
Yeah, we do a lot of these, like the Picos. We've been doing a fair bit of those in motorcycle applications because again, your physical size is very small.
Yeah.
But even sometimes the Pico is too big in motorcycle fairing. So the Otomos have been going well in those type of applications even for motorcycles. But anywhere you've got a space issue, a lot of exotic cars, there is no room for, or without getting into some crazy installation and building an amp rack, there's no room to put an amplifier in the car. We used to joke around when we were in the install bay. You got, a Lamborghini, you got enough room for a credit card and a condom, and that's it, right? So, you never heard that one, Nick? Come on, that's it.
No, I'm going to use that one. I'm going to steal it. I'm just telling you right now.
You use these amplifiers?
Yeah, you still have room for your condom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. On a serious note, though, Nick, talk to me a little bit about, let's be serious. These things are real deal. This is Mosconi power built in.
Yes.
But what's crazy about that? There's DSP even built in these tiny little suckers.
Yes. The cool thing, there's a lot of cool things about these. There's an Atomo 1, the Atomo 4, the Atomo 2, and the DSP, and the 4-6 DSP. Now, when we're talking about this is a 4-channel in, 6-channel out DSP processor that has the exact same graphic interface and power functions as the H12 Aerospace. It's just less channels of input and less channels of output. Otherwise, as far as tuning capability, it's the exact same thing. It has the ability to have a digital input, as you can see. So if you're using somebody's, one of the adapters that you can get from America or from NavTV or from whoever, and you've got a digital output on that from your interface, you can plug directly into these units and you're good to go.
Amazing.
Another cool function of this processor that I really like, it has the ability to accept a direct digital input via Bluetooth, and you can stream 2496 high-res files directly into the Atomo 4-6.
Oh, without a need for a head unit.
Without any need for any head unit whatsoever. And that antenna, as I like to call it, antenna receiver processor, it's not expensive at all. And the signal to noise ratio goes through there. If it's close to 110 dB.
What's the part number on it? Let's get that down.
It's called is it
the Bluetooth module?
Yeah, no, it's called an LD4C is what it is.
Okay.
And it will accept aptX or LDAC, those codecs, for the higher resolution. It'll accept any Bluetooth streaming, anything Bluetooth, it'll accept it. But if you want the higher resolution files, aptX will be CD quality, and then LDAC is actually 2496.
I like to say that this is definitely built for a solution kind of line, right? Because for the size.
It is, but I will tell you, don't let the size fool you. These things sound absolutely amazing. It's the same type of amplifier technology that's in the Picos. They don't have the power that Picos do, but for their size, as like Grant said, it's 60 watts a channel. That's crazy.
60 watts a channel and that small. I mean, there's amps 4 times that size that don't have that power.
That's in the 4-channel.
Yeah, that's on the 4-channel, is 60 by 4. The Atomo 2 is 100 by 2 RMS.
Wow.
And then the one I don't have here is the Atomo 1, which is actually a 500 watt monoblock in that size. It's crazy. It's unreal. I mean, just what you can do with these. Again, cars, we're talking about hot rods or, supercar type product where you don't have a lot of space.
That one's good for, guys?
You can't see anything.
Can I tell you what this is good for? This is when, how do I say this without getting myself in trouble? This is when you want to put a system into a vehicle that you might not want others to necessarily know there's a system in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Like your wife? You mean your wife?
I don't know. No, that's not what I'm referring to at all. What are you saying? I'm just
saying that, there's nothing. There's nothing in the car.
A discrete factory panel somewhere that opens up to have a space about the size of a sheet of paper.
Yeah, it's hiding the credit card statement is the challenge, not hiding the amplifiers.
Yeah, I'm just saying. All right. Well, I think that's the full tour of all the lineup of the amplifier, guys. Anything we want to say before, because we do have a special guest waiting for us in the back that I'd like to bring on. But I'd like to close off. overall, what message do you have, Grant, as far as the amplifiers go for dealers listening to this?
Well, I think number one, first and foremost with Mosconi, the importance is sound quality, how good the product sounds. It's not always about the size or the features. It's how good the quality of the audio that you're getting. That's first and foremost, I think, with the guys at Mosconi. But flexibility, I mean, the range of product, as you've seen a quick overview of it today, there's lots and lots of different products available for it. And, we've got you from mild to wild basically for power. And feature-wise, I challenge anyone out there. I mean, there's a lot of good brands out there, but I think top to bottom, the Mosconi line gives you more flexibility than almost anyone else.
Would you agree with that statement there, Nick?
I absolutely 100% agree with that in every respect. I don't know of anything else out there that gives you this kind of power, this kind of sound, this kind of flexibility, with this kind of reliability.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think on that note is a perfect segue to our last little segment here that we try to do as much as we can. And that is, the folks at Trends were kind enough to give us a list of authorized Mosconi dealers in Canada. And I went through the list. And I selected one to join us today, get a little bit of testimonial, see what they had to say about Mosconi products. You guys up for this?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome to CMA Connected, Brad Sinclair from a little shop or chain of shops called 360 Car Audio and Marine from Abbotsford, BC. What's going on, Brad?
How you doing, guys?
How are you, sir?
Hey, Bradley.
Good to have you on.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be on, actually.
So I'm hoping to say that you've seen these and you know how these go.
Yeah, no, I have actually. And I'm
Awesome.
honored to be a part of it.
They might have one or two on the wall behind them.
I was going to say, all you got to do is look right behind
I'll
you.
tell you what.
There's actually one behind me, too. There's a Pro 530.
Yeah, we can see that. But before we talk about product, I'd like to get to know about your shop a little bit more. Where are you guys located? What do you do? What's your specialty?
Yeah, well, it's 360 Car Marine Auto here in Abbotsford, BC. We actually specialize mostly in classic cars, muscle cars, and restos, and we do the interiors and the audio in them. But we are still pretty, a lot of our business is still retail, so we do a lot more newer vehicles where we had to have more complex installations as well as some fairly simple ones, but lots of custom fabrication.
Awesome. So a lot of you guys, it's kind of a chain of a couple of different businesses, right?
There's a couple of different businesses in one building.
Okay.
We have the 360 Collision Centers, 360 Fabrication, and then 360 Audio. And then we all kind of work in conjunction to help each other out. But there's specialists in each, right? So, myself and Derek just do audio, and then there's guys.
It's a small little shop in Abbotsford. It's like 22,000 square feet.
Whoa. Okay. So you do big stuff like big boats and that type of stuff?
We'll do yachts and ocean cruisers and stuff like that as well. We actually marina and do those as well.
How about stuff like big custom trucks or hot rods or muscle or anything like that? You're into that?
Yeah, I actually put a 530 in a C10 that's actually sitting right over there, a 71 C10.
Sweet. Okay. So that's the shop, Abbotsford, BC, 360 Audio. Tell us a little bit about your history with the brand and how your relationship with Mosconi.
My relationship with Mosconi is actually fairly new, but definitely very good. Coming over here just a little while ago and being introduced to Mosconi, and they've not let my expectations down at all. I've heard many good things about them, and they actually definitely lived up to it. I know 360 Audio has sold Mosconi for the last 8 or 9 years, so the company has lots of history with it. But myself, I'm fairly new to it, but I've definitely been doing quite a bit of digging into it. And I think one thing I like about the amplifiers is there's lots of solutions. Right, like you have the 90.8, which is a super cost-effective, powerful, and small amplifier that you can really put on stuff.
Okay, and with you've had the chance to play with it now for a bit, and you've seen it go into customers' cars. What is your impression been so far? Quality, sound, and like you mentioned, flexibility.
Yeah, and honestly, it sounds amazing, especially when you're going into the Glade and stuff right here. Size with the Pico stuff, I think that's kind of unheard of, right? A credit card and a condom, that's pretty small.
Oh my God!
Make you started.
It's going now trending on Facebook.
Now
credit card and the condoms.
Super aesthetically pleasing amplifiers like the Pros. The Pros have some really nice looking amps that you do really want to show off all the time.
Do your customers say that? Like when you show them the board, like you have some pretty high end components on that board right there.
Yeah. They're like, honestly, the 530 it draws eyes really easily. They're like, whoa, what's that? It's that red fan that pops. Like, whoa, what's that?
The red fans.
You gotta talk about it. So it's definitely super nice. And it's like that's most of our amplifiers on here are Mosconi amplifiers. So they're
really. So even when you're selling like the higher end full cal stuff behind you, the M's and stuff, you're putting that on Mosconi power.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's honestly that's what's going in the C10 is Utopia M's with a 530.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain if I had that going to my ride.
No,
that's for sure.
Pretty good combination.
Here's another question for you. Why would you recommend Mosconi to other dealers that might be listening in?
It's a very versatile brand, kind of like I said a little while ago. And it's not like, especially like us too, like I was saying, we do like pretty like basic when it comes to integration. Like we're just coming from one single source, and then we have stuff, like we're doing a 2020 R8 fairly soon, where that's not as so simple as an integration, and both of those cars are getting Mosconi amplifiers, and you have the solutions for different vehicles, and then also the sound quality, and then that's kind of unmatched by not very many other brands.
Wow. Very, very nice.
The main reason, Brad.
We all know what the real reason is.
Yeah, it's brand.
Hey, Nick, what question do you have for Brad while I have him on? Anything that you'd like to ask him?
No, not really, but considering what's sitting on the board behind him, I'm obviously you're using the 530 as the main amplifier for the Utopias and the Kevlars, I'm assuming.
Yes, actually it's the one over here. That's
okay.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit though in the next little while. I'm actually going to run the Utopia separately on an DSP.
Cool.
Sure.
And Brad, do you have any questions for our specialist, Nick? It's not every day we get Mr. Wingate on with us.
Yeah, actually, one thing I gotta say, like I love the product, but it's wondering, like, are you any like in the sites for like a touchscreen DSP controller?
A touchscreen DSP controller. I can tell you that there is a new controller that they are working on. I don't know any more than that, but considering what the rest of the market has gone to, all I can do is make suggestions.
Well, that sounds good. That was my one question. But other than that, I don't. I love the product. It's an honor to talk to you and be a part of the show.
Amazing.
No, we appreciate you being here, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Grant, what comments do you have about 360, man? They seem like a pretty solid dealer for you guys.
I've dealt with them probably, well, even when they were at the old shop. So I don't know many years you've been at the new shop, probably 10 years, but so probably 12 years or more. I've dealt with these guys. I think Trends, we were one of the first brands ever to go in there with audio because they were just a hot rod building shop, and they used to farm out a lot of their work to audio shops. And then I talked to Rick, the owner, and Daryl, and they were like, I'm sick and tired of getting stuff back, and I got to take it back and forth. Can you find me an installer? So I gave a few recommendations, and Derek, who's there, was at another shop back in the day, and he's come over and he's had a few stints there. But Derek and the team over at 360, a great group of guys, and they're totally different from your regular audio shop. I mean, the stuff they have, like the building's 22,000 square feet.
It's crazy. That's a big shop.
It's not a car audio shop like you would normally get. I mean, you go in there and your jaw drops. They've got an airplane hanging from the roof. Daryl's got an airplane hanging from the roof, or he used to have one. But they do collision repair. They do, you take your Mustang in that's been rotting in your grandmother's farm for the last 50 years. They'll take it in and they'll build it out, and it'll look like, we were talking earlier, Nick, about that plum crazy purple Chevelle or whatever you were talking about. These guys do crazy builds. You're taking your 69 Mustang in there and you're coming out with a Ferrari 599 price tag on it.
Yep,
right? They do $300,000 builds plus, and they do everything in between. So
awesome. As
far as a shop goes, customers can go there and get basics to whatever your wallet can afford, basically.
From mild to wild. No problem. Brad, can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you're busy at the shop today. One last question for you, and I'll let you go. Your choice, any product going into your personal whip right now, what are you putting in?
I'm actually thinking of doing 2 530s and then one of the 4-channel Pros with the 410s. because I want to do a double three-way setup in my vehicle. So
A double.
That'll do it.
We were just talking about that.
yeah, I want to do
Yeah.
a double three-way setup and then have the two 1,000 watts and some crazy bass because I'm definitely a crazy
Yep.
bass head, so I think that'd be a pretty sweet build.
Well,
Yep.
if you ever need any
That'll
tuning, if you ever need any tuning tips, I might know somebody that has some knowledge in that field.
Nice. I mean, actually, I actually will probably take you up on that.
There you go. All right, buddy. Thank you so much, Brad.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad.
Shout out to the boys
Take
at
care,
Appreciate
360
it, Brad.
Audio.
Thank you.
Get back
Take
to
care.
work and sell something quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
Bye now.
make us money.
Oh God, man, I don't know what's going on here, Grant, but you look popular. Somebody called Christopher is asking who can we contact for trans. The location is Collingwood, Ontario.
Anyone Ontario, you call me. I'm basically handling the Ontario territory for now. Yep.
I'm sorry, Christopher. My condolences, but you have to deal
Yeah,
with Grant.
mine too. Sorry, Chris.
This is too much fun. I wish we could do this all the time. I'll go put up the numbers. On that note, we're going to bring this to a close. Nick, what message do you have for dealers? You know, obviously there's some interest being generated here. Maybe there's a lot of dealers that are being introduced to the brand right now, seeing the flexibility that we've been talking about. What message do you have for them?
Well, considering what we're going through in the world today, and we all know about what we're going through in 12-volt, may I make a suggestion that if you have any idea as far as a specific type of amplifier that you are not used to getting for the last 6 months, let's say, give Grant a call. He'll get something for you to test. Because I know when I was in retail, that's one of the things that I would always want is I wanted to talk to a rep and say, can I listen to something? And I know that the guys at Trends will do their best for that. Because all you have to do is listen to what these amplifiers can do. That's all it takes. If you just listen to them, you're going to understand this is different. This is not a Me Too product by any stretch of the imagination. It's not the same circuit design that everybody in 12-volt uses. No, this is different. It is completely different in every respect. They design everything themselves in Italy, and you can hear the difference.
Nothing else to say about that. Nick, can't thank you enough again. Always
Yes,
a pleasure
sir.
to have you on, sir. Looking
Anytime,
forward to we should plug, before we let Nick go, this is part of a 3-part series with Trends and Mosconi. We have 2 more sessions planned out. Get over to CanadianMobileAudio.com, check out our schedule. 2 more planned out, a DSP training part 1 and a DSP training part 2 with this man right. Can I do this properly? With this guy right here, Nick, and of course, Mr.
Yeah, the
Wingate.
DSP one, the first DSP session is going to be like a beginner session. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of misconceptions about DSP, and a lot of guys, quite frankly, scared about it. So hopefully, we're going to take the fear out of it and break it down to simplify things. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these products. They're very, very powerful, but it's not going to kill you. You're not going to pop airbags.
Don't be scared.
You know, we're gonna take the fear out of the first session, and then the second session we'll get a little more advanced. We're not going to get too crazy advanced, but we'll get.
We want to inspire confidence. That's I think
Absolutely.
the overall thing.
Yeah.
Nick, have a good day, sir. We'll talk.
Appreciate
to
it,
you
gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Thanks, Nick.
Take
Always
care.
a pleasure. One of the best trainers on the planet, right there, ladies.
Boom,
and
right there.
Yeah. Grant's
he
paid to
is.
say that, by the way. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you all. Take care.
Take care, Nick.
Well, I will say, you got 2 interested parties might become new dealers. Hopefully that works out for you. And,
Yeah, I mean, Mosconi is a very protected brand for us. We treat it with kid gloves and a lot of respect. So for dealers that are looking at the line, we don't offer it to every single dealer on the planet. It's very specialized. We make sure that guys know what they're doing when they're installing it. But
there are still opportunities.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big line. We don't make you buy every single product in the category. We'll work with you to make sure that fits your needs as a dealer.
Fantastic. Grant, stay sexy, buddy. We'll see you soon enough.
Thanks, buddy.
Actually,
Try my best.
I see you Wednesday night on our Wired and Accessories episode of CMA Live.
Yep. We'll see you on Wednesday evening.
I'll see you then. Take care, man.
See you, bud. Take care, bud.
Bye.
Cheers.
All right, there you have it. Awesome episode and session featuring Mosconi with Trends Electronics, as well as Mr. Nick Wingate from Mosconi as well. We had a chance to spotlight a shop out here in the west coast of Canada. Brad Sinclair joined us from 360 Car Audio and Marine, and we got some insight from him. So shout out to those guys and Brad for taking the time. That concludes this session of CMA Connected. We'll be back, of course, on Wednesday and Friday with another lunchtime learning session, as well as CMA Live Wires and Accessories going down this Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. On that note, thanks for tuning in. This is CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.